we're all unique and have our own personal story. So dive in with me and let's get to know some extraordinary people. On this week's episode with Dive In with Amy, I sit down with Marci Coombs, an awesome blogger, and I'm so excited for you to hear some stories that she shares and what inspires her and how she stays positive.
Let's do it.
Okay. Marci Coombs, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Are you ready to dive in?
I am ready to dive in deep.
Good. Deep. That's even better. Okay. Question.
Yes.
If you could be on any reality TV show, which show would you be on and why?
That's a good question. It would definitely not be one like Real World or Big Brother because I would not be able to live with other people. Those are fun to watch, but I think it would be like a baking competition.
Ooh.
Yes, I think I would really like that.
So are you a baker?
I am a baker. Yes, I like to bake. I like to cook. So I think that, I would be one of those, I think.
Is there a particular one, like the greatest? I don't watch a lot of reality cooking shows other than Guys Grocery Games.
No, you know what? There's a really good one that Gordon Ramsay does. Well, this isn't a baking one, but he goes into these restaurants that are like failing and they're like, they don't pass inspection and they're disgusting. And then he like flips them and like makes them really nice. Joe and I love watching that one. But yeah, any of those I think I would like.
Do you watch a lot of reality TV?
I used to watch a lot of reality TV, and then it just got very repetitive to me. I feel like Survivor's the same, Bachelor's always the same, and so I did American Idol for a long time. I loved the singing competitions. I do love World of Dance, and so you think you can dance still, but...
Okay, let's talk about the dance quick.
Okay.
I could see your sons on that, one of those.
That's like their dream. They aspire to be on shows like that. They love hip-hop dancing.
Now, I haven't seen your kids in several years.
Die.
They were
They're
just
so
little last time I saw them. But one thing I do remember about them are their dance moves.
From way back when? You
From way
remember
back
that?
when, yes.
Oh, how funny.
How old were they when they started dance?
So little. They've been dancing. Well, so my oldest son, Grant, has been dancing since forever. Like for show and tell in kindergarten, he wanted to bring a CD of Michael Jackson and dance in kindergarten. So he did that. And then Carson just started dancing like a year ago, and he has caught it on really quick. So they're on a hip hop crew that like competes and performs, and they love it. It's such a great outlet for them.
That is so cool. Are they into sports at all or more dance?
No, they were, but now that they've found this love of dance, it's like their thing.
But you know what? That is a sport, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I
They're
would
getting
say
a workout.
dancers or athletes.
Uh-huh.
That is
I would agree.
so fun.
Yeah, and it's funny because all the girls love a guy that can dance, and so it like puffs up their ego, and they love it.
How old are they now?
Grant is 14. Can you believe that?
No.
And Carson is 12, almost 13. Oh. And then London's almost 10.
So how was it having a little girl after the two boys?
So fun. So you have one of each, right?
Just one. Or sorry, just two girls.
Oh, two girls.
Two
girls. I was
girls.
thinking you had a boy.
My littlest one is sometimes acts like a boy, but she's not.
I will tell you what, it's so fun. So have you, this is so dumb. But so I love having my boys, but I want a girl. You want one of each?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a girl. I want a girl.
Of course.
So, people say there's like certain ways you can have a girl, like depending on like when you ovulate, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So we tried the way that we saw in the book, and it worked. It totally.
Are you serious?
But that said, I am a firm believer you're going to have what you're supposed to have. So I would not have been upset with a boy, but I really wanted a girl.
So what did you do to get the girl? Because I need to do the opposite if I ever decide to have a boy.
It's all about like timing when you have sex and when you ovulate. And I can't remember because it's been so long.
So anything on the position?
No. Thank goodness.
Because you hear things about that, right?
Nothing on the position, just when you have the sex according to when you ovulate.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And it worked.
It did. She's a very girly girl.
That is so... That is very interesting.
But like I said, like whatever. I was going to have what I was supposed to have.
Exactly. Oh, boy. Yeah, so we have two little girls.
They're so cute.
Thank you. They're a lot of fun. So much fun. I'm so grateful for them. But I think it would be fun to experience a boy.
It's just so different.
I'm not getting any younger. And we did try for a long time. It just didn't happen. But if I ever were to like be serious about it and say,
Uh-huh.
okay, we're going to try this again.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into some
Totally.
to get
I'll
the boy.
just Google it now. How old are your girls?
So they are 4 and 7.
Oh, fun. Is the 4-year-old in kindergarten or where's she today?
She is in preschool.
Oh, fun.
She's at Wiggle Worm Preschool as we speak.
Fun.
Yeah.
You still got one more in you.
I don't know. I'm not getting any younger. I thought, but
Yeah.
but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the 2 girls.
Girls
They're fun.
are so fun.
They are so much fun.
Yes.
And but it's interesting how different your kids are.
Yes.
So-
Even with my 2 boys.
Oh,
they're
I'll
only
bet.
a year apart and they're very
1
different.
year apart.
Uh-huh.
You were not messing around. How was that with them
Crazy.
because boys, from what I hear and what I've seen with nephews and friends' kids, boys just have a lot of energy.
My boys were good. I mean, they weren't like ever bouncing off the wall. They never got into stuff. Like they're pretty well behaved boys. They've always been best friends since they've been so close.
Nice.
But I feel bad because the first year of Carson's life is such a blur to me because I had Grant who was like 1.5 or however old. They're 16 months apart. And I would just sit in the family room, like lay on the couch while like Grant was in a swing, Carson was sleeping, and it's just such like a haze.
Yeah, it's
Of
exhausting.
his first year.
And 2 little
It was
ones.
so tiring. That's why we waited a few years before we had London. It's funny. We always said we wanted 6 kids. And then with each kid, it got progressively less.
Yeah.
And then we got our boys and then a girl. And I was like, we're done.
Done. You've got it. Family completed.
Yes. My hat goes off to moms of like tons of kids. I don't know how they do it.
I don't either. And I think it's got to be in them. I think some people are just made for it.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
And I think, I don't know. And I am totally out of line here, but maybe a lot of people have them just because they feel that that's what they're supposed to be doing.
I think you're right. Yes, I think you're right on that.
So I don't know. I know what I'm capable of.
Yep.
And I'm okay with my 2. But I do have so much respect for people that have a lot of kids because it's
You don't know
not
how they do
easy. I don't know how they do it either. My own mother, she had 7. I'm 6 of 7 kids.
Who's younger than you?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, my hat goes off to them. My hat also goes off to full-time working moms. I don't know how they do it. They're amazing.
okay, you've always been home with your kids, but I feel like you've always worked a little bit here and there, not in a full-time job in the
I've always
corporate
done
field.
stuff from home.
Done stuff from
So
home.
I've got my Etsy shop and I've got my blog and I'll do like custom printables for people, but I can do it all from home. So it's nice.
What's your Etsy shop called?
It's just Marci Coombs.
Marci Coombs.
Yep.
And what is your main product? What services do you offer?
My biggest product is printables where somebody can like go online, purchase a printable and then download and print it out however many times they want. So like right now, Valentine's are really big. And then at Christmas time, I do like custom handmade ornaments. So it's fun. Yeah.
And has that just been fun for you did you start this to make money or did you start this as a creative outlet for you? Just something
both.
for you?
Both. When I started it, I had just been released as Young Women's President. So I had all this time on my hands, which I was thrilled about. And it's very therapeutic for me to sit in my craft room and design and create. And so it's been kind of like the best of both worlds. I get to do it at home. I get to do something I love. And then if I make money, that's awesome too.
But you don't feel a huge pressure to do it because you're not the sole provider.
Yes, exactly.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's been
well,
really
it kind of, I feel like when you open these shops and it's just like you have all that
Yes.
pressure.
No,
it
thank
can
goodness.
take away a little bit of the magic.
Absolutely.
But just you're able to do it for fun.
Yep.
And an outlet.
And that's how I feel like with my blog too. I feel like it's fun for me. I could do a lot more with my blog, but my family, like I don't.
Your family comes first.
They come first, and I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be something I have to do, have to check things off every day in order to have the right blog entry. I just post what I want to post, and that's what it is. If people like it, great. If not, then don't read it.
Okay, tell us about your blog. How do we find it?
So it's just marcicoombs.com. And I just blog about everything from recipes to restaurant recommendations to party ideas, family stuff, just a little bit of everything.
What I always get a kick out of, and I feel like it's tied to your blog, is your Instagram account. On your stories, where do you go to find all these crazy books and these book
Goodwill.
titles? Goodwill.
That's like my newfound favorite hobby is going to Goodwill and just like searching through all of the aisles of books to find funny titles.
What would you say the funniest book title is that you have found?
Oh, gosh.
And did you buy the book?
You know what? I'm so
That would
silly.
be a hard one to say because I feel like I've read so many hilarious book titles on your Instagrams.
The ones about sex are always funny. There was one about nipples. That was funny. But I'm so silly. I never buy them, but I should because they're like the perfect white elephant gifts.
Yes.
I know.
And then you always also do these fun Friday finds where you
Yes.
go to Target. And I have to tell you, I should probably let you know this earlier. But I have actually gone to Target to pick up things that I've seen from you that
yay.
you've posted.
Good.
And what was that? I remember maybe last year or the year before, the cutest little Valentine little ceramic things, little pie.
The Target dollar bill.
Yes.
Dollar bins.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have done this a couple of times where I've seen you post something on there, your
yay.
Friday finds. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to go to Target and I need to
That's
find
awesome.
that.
I feel like
So
if
you're
I find a
reaching
good
people-
deal, I want other people to like go and get it. Why not share the goodness?
Exactly. So why do you do the blog? And to put, I mean, you just explain one reason,
Yes.
right? You want to share it. You find
Yeah.
some good things you want
Right.
to share. Any other reason? What is your biggest driver?
I don't know. I guess to have a positive influence. I feel like there's so much negativity online. And I'm just kind of out there to just shed a positive light on stuff, make things fun. I think people need to lighten up more in life. And if people can read my blog and feel good about themselves, then great. And I don't know. I enjoy doing it. I've always loved doing it. So
Do you get feedback from your readers or your followers? Do you
Yes.
hear from them frequently?
Yes. In fact, it's funny because at Christmas time, I'll get Christmas cards from my readers and Joe will be like, who's this? Who's this? I'm like, oh, she reads my blog. She reads my blog. He's like, what? That is so weird. But they kind of become my friends because they comment and give me feedback and they live all over the world. But it's kind of a fun little community.
What is one of the nicest things one of your followers has ever said to you or sent you?
Oh, that actually just happened a couple of weeks ago. I had posted on my Fun Finds Friday a picture of a really cute Valentine wreath at Walmart. And I had seen it up in Idaho when I was up there. And so I went to the Walmart here and it was all sold out. And I was super bummed. So anyways, I posted a picture. Well, there's a lady in California that went online. She found a Walmart in Chandler and ordered and paid for me. And she just messaged me and said, go pick it up. It's ready for you. I know.
That is so nice.
It really touched my heart. It was so sweet.
That is really sweet. But that's fun that you've built a community.
Yeah.
And these people have become your friends. But you said something that you feel like we need to lighten up a little bit. When you said that, well, I took off all of 2018 from all social media.
The whole year.
The whole year.
That's a long break.
No Facebook, no Instagram, nothing. But I got off of Facebook even probably a year or year and a half before that during the election.
Yes.
Because I got tired of
smart.
reading all this political stuff. And I was developing bitter, ugly feelings
do.
towards people
You totally
who
do.
I loved, good friends of mine, family, people that I really cared about. But I was starting to have ugly thoughts about them because of the things they were saying.
Absolutely.
And I thought, okay, first of all, my relationship, my friendship with these people is more important. And I'm being judgmental because I clearly don't agree with them. And then I'm starting to dislike these people.
Right.
That's not okay. So I felt that those friendships were more important. So I just got off.
That's smart. That's
got
so
off.
smart.
But at the same time, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to get on Facebook
Right.
and post your political opinions or your thoughts or just opinions. It doesn't even have to be political, but just your opinions on anything. But sometimes I just feel like, and I'm back on now, and I'm starting to fall down that hole again.
Yeah.
But it's a good, I mean, we obviously have a right to speech, right? And we have a right to our opinions and thoughts, and that's good.
Yes.
But I just feel like sometimes I just get tired of all the political stuff. And it's just in the turbulent times right now and our
is it
political
ever.
climate. So I don't know.
Well,
So question for you is
yes.
how do you stay positive? Because you are on social media a lot.
Yep.
And your blog. How do you stay positive in the midst of all this negativity? And yeah.
I just scroll past it. If I can't, like, everybody has their own opinion, like you said. What makes me very irritated is when Like I have my own opinion politically and different, and I will listen to other people, what they have to say, and I'll take it in, and I won't like bash talk that other person. I can't stand the people who only have their opinion. It's their way or the highway. Yeah. They're not willing to listen to anybody else. It's they're right, you're wrong. I have a hard time with that. So I've just learned to just scroll past it. And not let it get to you. No, Joe and I will read out loud to each other at night, like funny stuff that people have posted that we think are funny. And we'll laugh together, and then
right, and that'll then you can go past it. And that's healthy. That is so healthy.
We laugh a lot.
Yeah. But I think it's important, just people's attitudes and their approaches. Like you said, you're okay to listen to somebody that has a differing opinion. And it's, to me, I think it's actually fun and nice to be able to engage in an open conversation. The other night, for example, we went to dinner with a cousin of ours, and we got into a political conversation. And he was one way, and we were totally the other way. We, as in my brother and my sister-in-law and my husband. But anyway, it wasn't an ugly dinner.
No, you can have very civil conversations.
It was actually a pleasant conversation, even though it was very political. There were clearly different opinions, but it was very pleasant. And I just feel if you can just be open-minded and listen to other people, and just at some point you have to agree to disagree and just move past it.
Yes, and that's, my husband's very good about that.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, you do. At some point you just got to. But some people just have very, very strong personalities and strong opinions, and it's their way or the highway, and they're not open-minded enough to listen and absorb. Because let's be honest, there is a lot, when talking politics, there's a lot of good on both sides, and there's a lot of bad on both sides.
Absolutely.
Both sides are totally
that.
corrupt.
Yes.
At some point, you just have to kind of meet in the middle and look at the issues at hand, and not so much the parties.
Yes. No, I agree. Oh. Do you want to know one of my other pet peeves on social media?
Tell me. Just spill it out. You said you're going to dive deep.
Okay, I'm diving deep. Something Joe and I really get the giggles out of is when people like have to gush over their spouse on social media, how much they love them and how perfect they are, and blah, 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 blah. Like, why?
Because they're convincing themselves.
Why can't they just send them a text like, hey, babe, I love you. You're so hot. Why do you have to post that on Facebook?
Exactly. And, that's a good point. Sometimes I feel that people that just push it goes overboard. I almost feel bad for them, because I'm thinking inside, are you really trying to convince yourself? Is this really the case? Or are you trying to convince yourself?
Yes, I think so.
And
it's sad.
It's sad.
But we get a kick out of it.
Yeah. So funny.
It doesn't take much.
So tonight, Marci, I want to see a post about Joe.
How much I love him. What a good provider he is. I'm so bad. Okay, but I'll tell you another game that we played. This is horrible. So horrible. Girls like to take like selfies of themselves and up in the up angle. And so we, when he's at work or I'm at home, we like to play Guess the Cleavage, because it's always the same girls. It's always like 5 girls on Facebook who are posting pictures where their cleavage is right there. So we'll crop down to just the cleavage and say Guess the Cleavage.
And are you guys...
I'm pretty good at it. Yeah. Joe, he's okay, but I'm pretty good.
So for you listeners out there, Guess the Cleavage.
Yes. If you ever do a shot of just your cleavage, we're going to guess it.
Guess your cleavage. Yeah, the selfies. I'll tell you, social media is just it's just brought such a dynamic, right, to the world.
Yes.
Looking back, where did you and Joe meet?
Down here in Arizona. We met at a singles ward.
Singles ward.
Yeah.
I remember my first cell phone was at BYU, and it was like those old Nokias. And I won it in some competition.
Yeah.
But then I thought I was so lucky because I won this awesome cell phone, and then I didn't realize all the data and all and just the service and all that it would end up costing. But yeah, it's just I feel like social media, great thing. It is a great thing. It brings a lot of good, but it's all about a special balance, right? And I don't know, it's a hard thing. And are your kids? Talk to me about your kids.
They are not on social media.
Okay, because they're teenagers.
Yes.
I haven't dealt with that yet. At what point do they have phones?
My boys have phones.
How old were they when they got their phones?
It was when Grant went to 7th grade and Carson was in 6th grade, because Grant was riding the bus, so I wanted him to be able to get in touch with me if, something happened on the bus. And then Carson and London were at elementary school, so I wanted him to have something just because, and let's be honest, it was really because Joe and I got new phones, and so they got our old phones.
Yeah.
But I have very strict rules about the phones. I am a smother. Do you ever watch The Goldbergs?
Yes.
A smothering mother.
One of the best.
So I have all access to their phones. I can read them whenever I want. They are not allowed to go to bed with them at night. I have to take them. I usually take them like around 9. And then I can scroll through if I ever find out that they've like deleted something or lied to me, or then their phones are gone for good. They're not on social media. They would like to be on Instagram, but I told them maybe 16. I just don't want to open up that can of worms with them.
I know it's a lot of pressure. I feel like kids feel a lot of pressure. How many likes am I going to get?
Yes.
Am I, everything has to be curated. Let's do this so I can get my shot.
It's all of that. And then it's all of like FOMO, fear of missing out, like them seeing kids post stuff that they weren't invited to. I hate that.
Oh, yes.
And then pornography, like they can see like girls, the pictures that they post, like girls their age, are sometimes horrendous. Like I'm shocked at what they post. And these
are young 13, 14-year-old girls.
Yeah. And I just want to shield them from that as long as I can. I know I can't forever, but I'm going to try.
And so they push you. They ask you are they pretty understanding?
Yeah, they're pretty understanding, but they're kind of like, we're like the only kids without Instagram, Mom.
And you tell them, and one day, boys, you will thank me.
Yes, I know.
You will thank me.
And they get on mine and they look through mine and they can look up like their close friends on mine, but...
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't not let them on it. They have friends on Instagram that they go and check, but...
They don't need to be posting quite yet.
No, and they don't need to be following all of their friends, I don't feel like.
Yeah. It's a scary thing.
It is scary.
And you hear there's so many different approaches to cell phones and allowing your kids to have Instagram or Facebook. It's just, there's so many different approaches, and I feel like you just have to do what you feel is best for your kid.
You do, and everybody's different.
Yep.
But that, for me, that's still something I can hold on to, and I'm going to hold on to it as long as I can.
And I do not blame you.
It's scary. Somebody told me yesterday, I was with a group of girlfriends, and they were saying some statistic like 90% of all 9-year-olds have already seen pornography, which blows my mind.
Yes. That is a lot. It's so easily accessible.
It is. It's at their fingertips.
It is. So we used to have on our iPads or even our Apple TV or our phones, YouTube Kids.
Yeah, but I've heard that's like...
Yes. And so we have deleted all of that because people will upload these videos to YouTube Kids, and they're like fun cartoons, and then all of a sudden in the middle, they're just explicit stuff that they'll just hide in there.
Oh.
And then it goes back into the cartoons. Oh. But the thing is, and your kids might not even pick up on that. They might not realize it, but it's
right. Oh, yeah, it's in their brain.
It is. It's in their brain, and that's so scary.
It is scary.
So I'm not saying that YouTube Kids is bad, but you just have to be so careful.
You have to be careful with everything.
You have to be careful with everything, and you have to, like you said, you have to monitor and just be aware of what your kids are absorbing.
Yes. We also have a rule when any of the kids are on the computer in the office, the door has to stay open. They're never allowed to shut the door when they're in, just because, I don't know. I just feel like there's only a few, I don't know. They're only going to be in my home with me for Grant like 5 more years before he, goes away. And I just want to protect him as long as I can. I'm a smother.
Well, you know what, though? Protect them and teach them. So you have a family, you have a home computer. You don't let them shut their door. Mm-hmm. Do you monitor the computer, or do you have any sort of software or filters that...
We have some filters that we've just done with our computer inside the computer. We don't have software, but we can check, and we have ways of finding out. Joe and I are firm believers that our kids are going to come across all of this stuff in life. That's just, you cannot shield your kids from certain things. So we're firm believers. We just want to teach them in our home how to react when they come across it, and hopefully they'll make good choices. But it starts in the home.
It does start in the home. And that's the hardest thing is, at some point, you're going to have to let your kids fly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And so all you can do now is just teach them, instill those strong lessons and the values that you want in your kids. But at some point, you're going to have to let them fly, and they're going to fall down and make those mistakes, but they'll get right back up again, like that Shakira song.
Yeah.
So I used to teach in the primary in our church, the little kids, and I was in charge of a sharing time. So I was teaching, what a sharing time, all the kids.
Yes.
And it was on making mistakes, and, you're going to make mistakes, and you repent, you apologize for them, and you just move on. And it was right at the time that Zootopia came out. And we were watching it the Saturday before.
Tell me you played the song in
And you
primary.
better believe it. I brought in that, and I brought that song in. So the kids are rocking out
so
to
awesome.
Try Anything? by Shakira.
And I bet they remember that forever.
Yes. And so, honestly, I brought Shakira into the primary, and the kids listened to it. At first, I let them just listen to it, and they were all dancing in the chairs. And then I said, okay, we're going to listen to it again, but we're going to talk about these words and the lyrics. And it was such a good song for those kids.
I bet.
Yeah.
They'll always remember that.
Yeah. But anyway, at some point, you have to let your kids grow up, and
I know.
they're going to leave. And so all you can do is just
teach them.
Teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Teach them and love them.
Yeah. It's a scary thought, but
My kids get annoyed because I ask a lot of questions after school. And my mom was the same with me, and I hated it when I was a teenager. Like, why are you asking me so many questions? I'm the same way, though. Like, I feel like I'm interested. I want to know what's going on in your life. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
It is okay. And do your boys talk to you?
They will talk to me.
See, and that is so good.
They will.
You want your kids to have those open conversations with you. And I'm sure they'll probably, limit some things that they'll share with their moms at some point. But those open conversations are key with your kids.
I think so, too.
Have you had, 2 teenage boys. Have you had any awkward conversations?
Oh, yeah. Let me just say, I was not prepared for boy puberty. I just figured girl puberty is going to be the worst. London's going to be hormonal, but boy puberty is it's taken on a whole new meaning to me.
Let's dive in because I don't have boys. I've got girls. In what way has that been just a lot different than you had imagined?
I just didn't imagine such a big change with the hormones and with the body and with the voice, and it's like they're in a funk that they can't get rid of, and they're just, I don't know.
Okay, would you say you or Joe had more conversations about puberty? I'm assuming you've already had the birds and the bees talk. We have. Did Joe take on more of a role? Because he's a...
Yes. So our rule kind of is, Joe, you talk to the boys and I'll talk to London. We both talk to him together, but he does most of the talking. One of our children did not want the talk. It was no, I don't want to hear it. And we finally had to just sit him down and be like, you're going to hear it at school, so we have to tell you first.
How old were your boys when you first had this talk?
They were old. They were probably 5th grade. And I'm sure they've heard stuff before because kids hear everything at school.
Right.
But London's in 4th grade, and I haven't had it with her yet. Isn't that horrible?
I can't say if it's horrible or not because I don't know.
I should have it with her, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. I feel like they're so innocent for the most part. I don't want to put anything into her brain to start thinking about that she hasn't already, what? I don't know. But then she needs to know it's a part of life.
Exactly. But is she the kind of person that she'll come to you and say, Mommy, they were talking about this on the playground? Or what is sex? Or, you know what I mean?
She'll ask me if she has a question.
That's good.
But I want her to know from me before she hears it on the playground.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to, because then 5th and 6th is when they start having the
maturation clinics.
They come home with deodorant.
You remember the book, Dear God, It's Me, Margaret?
Oh, yeah.
Judy Blume.
Yeah, that was golden.
You've got to find a copy of that at your Goodwill.
I will.
For London.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th grade. I mean, yeah, and she's already heard some of this stuff, right? But
yes,
there's some innocence there, and it's probably gone. I'm sure my 1st grader has heard some of this stuff, and it's
probably
just gone
everything at school
in one ear and out the next. But it's okay, at some point they're going to start processing, and so.
Yes.
But I've been toying around with that, okay, at what point do I sit and have this conversation?
And you know what? I do think it's different for every child. Mm-hmm. Some kids are not ready for it at a young age. Some are. London's ready for it. I just have been dragging my feet.
Are you nervous to have the conversation with her? Not so much the awkwardness, but just opening that door for her.
Yeah, I'm just nervous
the fact that she's got to,
and she's gonna be like, "Oh, that's what you and Dad do." Yeah. Just the awkwardness, basically, but it's a fact of life.
One of my older siblings, I don't remember which one it was. Jeff, do you remember the story? I think it was my brother Theron. He learned what sex was. And he said, ew, you and Mom did that 7 times.
Our boys have said that, yeah. And part of me is like, yep, just 3 times.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but that's, okay, so tell me about an awkward conversation with your boys.
Oh,
outside of the birds and bees talks? Or have you not had? But I can see it not being that awkward with you guys.
It's
I
not.
just feel like
We're
with
very
you
open.
guys, yeah, I was going to say, with you guys, you just seem like very direct. And
We
you guys
are.
are very fun.
Yes. Well, I don't know fun, but we're direct.
You are very fun. You're very fun.
We try and not make a big deal out of stuff. And so it's very open dialogue in our home.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good to talk about these things.
I think so. Yeah. Why can't I do it with London?
There's your challenge, Marci.
I know.
Have the talk. No,
got
I'm
till
just
fifth
kidding.
grade.
That is entire. Like you said, every kid is different, and
Yeah.
you'll know when the time is right for your kids, for London, and
Yeah.
you're her mom. You know best. So
I like
yeah,
to think I do, but
yeah. So I need to start figuring some of that stuff out with my girls because I just know it's scary. She's first grade, but she's exposed to things just being in school. So,
and it's funny because you can always tell the kids that have older siblings because they're the ones that come and tell the younger kids.
yes.
And so there's all sorts of kids out there with different backgrounds of life. They're gonna hear about it.
Yes. Okay. Another thing. Have you found this with your kids? I tell my husband, we need to be careful what we are saying at home because little kids will go and tell everything.
Yes.
This is just one little example. But the other day I picked up Letty from preschool and her teacher says, oh, I heard Cece had a really rough morning today. And Cece had a rough morning and Letty picked up on it and Letty had to just share all of our family news and all the details with her teacher on our rough morning. But it's like, I've sat in with like little kids at church when I teach a primary
they
class.
tell everything.
My mom is so mad because my dad can't keep a job. Or, and kids they will just spill everything.
Everything.
So I always tell Davey, like, oh, we have got to be careful what we say.
Yeah. 7, that's about the age where you have to keep it behind closed doors what you guys do.
Yes, exactly.
Because they'll say anything. I always tell the teachers at school, I have no idea. You probably hear the worst of the worst at our house, but oh well.
You're an open book.
We are very much an open book, but yeah, they're funny.
What is your biggest fear as a mom?
Ooh, something happening to one of my kids or to Joe. I have always had a fear of losing someone. I had really bad anxiety it started when I was a kid, and I've always had it. I've had to go on medication for it to calm it down, but I always I feel like if I were to lose somebody that close to me, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest fear.
The fear of losing someone. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment to date as a mother?
Ooh, as a mother?
Something you're just the most proud of.
I always...
And your kids are still young. You've got a long road ahead of you. But to date.
When I hear somebody like an adult or a leader or a teacher say something nice about my child, they're so friendly to other kids, or, they'll talk to anybody, whether they're cool or whether they're not, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I might be raising them to love everybody. And when I hear stuff about my kids positively, where I'm like, okay, point for mom and dad. We're doing something right.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, especially nowadays with all the bullying and just all the negativity and just so much ugliness. There's a lot of good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good in the world. So just to be able to say that you are raising a kind kid,
it's huge. I know.
Is huge.
Yeah.
It might seem like something so simple, but the impact that they'll have can be overwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. And then when they can come to us and talk to us, I feel like that's kind of an accomplishment to create those open lines of communications with your kids where they can ask you questions. I love that.
So how was your relationship with your parents growing up?
It was good. It was very open. I was the youngest.
Of how many?
Of 4. And so it was by the time they had, between the next sister and I is 4.5 years. So I had 4.5 years alone with my parents, and they were just tired by the time it came around to me, and very laid back and very, very open. We still are today. The same way. They live close by and we talk all the time.
That's so nice.
So it's fun. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Your blog.
Yes.
When did you start your blog?
So I started back in the day when all the new moms were blogging and posting pictures of their kids. So probably I want to say 2006. And it was just kind of like a family thing. And then when I got called to work with the teenage girls at church, I started posting a lot of my handouts and ideas for lessons and activities. And then it just kind of exploded from there. I got a following from that. And then it's just kind of taken off from there.
So you got a lot of feedback from people in the church. And then how did you build a greater audience? Because you've built that over the past several years.
Yeah, I just keep doing what I'm doing. I just keep posting ideas. If I create something, every month I do like it used to be visiting teaching, now it's ministering, and I do a handout for that. That's free every month. And so I just keep going, doing what I'm doing.
How many followers or readers would you say you have?
You know what? I don't know. I am so not like good with numbers or technical stuff of my blog. I really am not. All I know how to do is post, and that's it. But because there's people that follow me on Pinterest, there's people that follow me on Instagram. I think on my blog, like on the side, and I don't even know if anybody still does this, but you can click like follow. Mm-hmm. But then there's people that follow my blog. So on my blog, I think it's like 3,000 something. But then I don't follow any blogs, but I check blogs every day. So I'm not an official follower. So I don't know.
But that just tells me right now that you're not doing this for the followers.
No.
You're not doing this necessarily to make a buck.
Yeah.
But you're doing this because you really love it and you're enjoying it.
I do.
Did you ever, as you started developing this, did you ever run into any obstacles or get discouraged or at any point say, okay, you know, this is too much work and I'm just going to stop. It's not worth it?
No, I got a lot of backlash back maybe like 5 years ago. Because I do post a lot of church stuff, you know. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so I post a lot of church stuff. And I remember, I think it was 5 years ago, I was at jury duty, and I kept getting all of these emails, and I was like, where are all these emails coming from? Well, somebody had gotten a hold of one of my posts about the church and posted it to Reddit. And
tell us what Reddit is.
It's I don't even know. It's just like a forum. I think it's a website where you can pretty much post whatever, and then people post their feedback.
Okay. So they've taken your content and they've put it on
posted
another.
it. And like,
okay.
Why does she think this? How can she think that? A lot of it was from people who have been in the church and then left the church and blah, 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 blah. And so then they would comment on that blog post, and I left all of those comments up because like I told you before, I'm a firm believer. Everybody can have their own opinion. That's fine. But I'm going to believe the way I'm going to believe, and you're going to believe the way you're going to believe. But it made me at first be like, oh my gosh, they're saying such mean things about me. But it is what it is. That's what's going to happen.
And so you just kind of let it roll off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I didn't fight back. But that kind of was the first time I was like, oh, people are mean.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard putting yourself out there too. You know?
Is, but you have to not care. And that's what I don't care.
That's awesome.
You either like it or you don't.
That's great.
So.
No, that confidence is key.
Yeah.
What do you foresee? Do you foresee doing anything further with your blog, or you just want to keep rolling along?
Yeah.
And doing what you're doing?
I would like to do more with my blog, especially now that my kids are getting older and I have some more time at home. I don't know. This is my problem though. I don't know how to go about like doing more. I mean, I see stuff online and I see bloggers who it's like they eat, sleep, and breathe their blog. I don't ever want it to get that big, but I know there's more out there I can be doing. I just don't know what.
What are a few things that you have thought of that you would like to be doing?
Well, I would love to expand my Etsy shop and like find a maker in like China to make all my stuff and then sell it through that.
And and maybe manufacture it and push it out to boutiques.
So I don't have to hand make my stuff. So I can just customize it. This is what I want. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I want it to say on it, and then have them make it, and then it be my product.
You ought to.
I don't know how.
There's a way. We will take this offline.
There's a lot I don't know how to do.
Get a hold of manufacturers. But isn't that exciting, though? Isn't it exciting to know that you've got the desire there and you've got the talent? But you have the talent, right?
Well, but
you know what you want to put out there.
I know. But I don't know how
your fingertips.
It seems so overwhelming to me.
It is overwhelming, but it's just step by step.
Yeah.
And see, if you're like me, I'll get an idea and I want to just go full force and I want it to be out there and I want it now.
Yeah.
Right? But everything takes time and some research and just one step at a time.
Look into it. But yeah, I'm always open up to more, you know, if it's good. Yeah.
So would you consider yourself a driven person?
Yeah. I think so.
What do you think drives you the most?
My family. If I always, if I can be a good example to my family and they know that I love life and I'm happy, I feel like that says a lot to kids and my spouse too. Like, so I don't know. I guess my family drives me. Everything I do is for them. And if I can help provide for my family, great. Like that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
But
okay, I want to issue you a challenge. You can accept it?
Ooh, I don't know.
You're going to take the first step in starting to research how to get your stuff manufactured.
I don't even know what to Google for that. Like I really don't.
We're gonna work offline and we're gonna get you some tools because you're so clever and you have a following and there is a market out there and you're capable. You need to do this.
I would love to. Okay. I'll Google something today.
Yes. Manufacturers in China. You could do manufacturers here.
But the part that scares me is like, how do you know they're not a scam? Like there's so many scams out there.
There are a lot of scams. And that's where honestly, you have to do a lot of research.
Right.
And things take time. If you're going to do it right, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
But you don't have to you don't have an absolute deadline. You're just going to take the first step and say, okay, I'm interested in this. I'm going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Let's start the research. Let's start figuring this out.
I know. Yeah. I almost need somebody that I just like pay who does like all that stuff for me.
Well, there are a lot of people out there.
But I don't want to pay them all the money that they want.
Right, exactly. You want to get it started. But yeah.
Yes. I just need help, I guess.
Perfect. And you can do it. You know what? Maybe some of your listeners, some of your followers are going to listen to this and you might get pinged.
Yeah. Well,
seriously.
We'll see.
So any of Marci's followers or my listeners want to help Marci take her blog and go check out her blog by the way, marcicoombs.com. And then your Etsy shop is Marci Coombs.
Marci Coombs, all one word.
Marci Coombs, all one word.
Yep.
So everybody check it out. And if you can offer some help on how to expand
I'm
this,
always
let's do
open
it.
to ideas. I always need help.
We all do. But you know what? That's so nice is the fact that you're willing to say, you know what? I need the help. I've got the ideas, but I don't have it all figured out.
I don't.
And so you do not have a hard time asking people for help. Let's take this just in terms of parenting, just life in general. Is it hard for you to ask for help?
It depends. If I am in charge of something, if I'm planning an event, I would just as soon do it all myself because I know it'll get done exactly how I need it to be. Then ask someone for help and not get the help that I expect. I have a hard time delegating.
It's a control thing.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
I can relate to that.
But I can, when I need help, like for instance, with my blog, I don't know how to do the design on my blog. I don't know how to do all the coding and stuff like that. So I have somebody who helps me do that and I ask him for help. Like I'm fine asking for help with that. But if it's something, I don't know, if it's just something I'm doing or something that's going to represent me, I like to do it myself.
How about with parenting?
Like asking for help?
Yeah. Asking for help, advice.
Oh, yeah. I'm open to all of that. I love getting advice from other people because it's, everybody parents so differently and you can learn so much from other parents of what works and what doesn't work. I love talking to parents who have older kids now that have gone through teenage years and high school. And I'm all about like soaking in that information and taking it and using it or being like, no, that's ridiculous. It's up to me, you know?
Yeah. Is there anyone in particular that has inspired just your blog and putting yourself out there and just getting the following that you have? Is there one particular person that's inspired you or maybe a few?
There is. Oh gosh. Yeah, you know who really inspires me? There's a girl, she's local in Arizona and she runs the Tomcat Studio. And she started out as a blogger and then she started creating printables. Well, she's like run her business now to where she does like real estate house staging. And I've kind of watched her progression and it's been very inspiring because she's just kind of built it from one thing to the next. Mm-hmm. So I have fun following her. Her name is Kim, I think. But yeah, it's the Tomcat Studio. So I really enjoy watching her kind of see how she does it all.
Right.
But it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming to just build something and put it out there. But good for you. Do you feel a good sense of accomplishment, just what you've achieved so far?
Yeah, you know what's funny is when I blog and when I post stuff on Instagram, like I don't mentally think like thousands of people are going to read this or see. I just don't think that way. And so I'm just posting like what I would talk to my husband about and so it always is a little bit of a shock when I, get comments from around the world and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. There are people really like listening to me, I guess.
And it goes back to what I've said before. You're clearly doing what you're doing because you love it.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for you.
Fun.
At the end of the day, it's for you.
Mm-hmm. It is. I always wanted, when I was little, I always wanted to be a talk show host. This was when like Kathy Lee Gifford was huge. And Sally Jesse Raphael. I even had the big red glasses to prove it. I should dig up a picture.
Please do.
And so I always want to be a talk show host. And I feel like this is like second best because I can write it all, like just like spew out everything that I would say on a talk show, but on a blog.
Yeah. And you mentioned people around the world. So your followers are outside of the U.S. Like wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be a good feeling.
So it's fun to hear from them.
Okay, you said you always wanted to be a talk show host.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about one of your previous jobs before becoming a mom. I am kind of jealous of your job. You know which one I'm referring to?
Radio DJ?
Radio DJ.
Yes.
Let's dive in.
I loved being a DJ. It was so fun.
Tell me what station you were on. Give me all the
down
details.
Here, so I went to school for broadcasting, got my degree in broadcasting, then worked in Southern Utah as a year for like a top 40 radio station. Then I wanted to change from Utah, and my parents had retired out here, so I started applying to all the radio stations down here, and I got a job with Camel Country 108. My catchphrase was grab a hump and hang on. I think they still say that. I haven't listened to them for a while, though.
Say it again.
Grab a hump and hang on.
Did you come up with this,
No,
or did they give it
that's
to
like
you?
the station's motto. I had to say that, and then when they'd play 8 songs in a row, it was an 8-song humpathon. So it was so fun. It was so fun. But to get my foot in the door there, I worked with the promotions team, like setting up for concerts and stuff. And then I did like the overnight shifts. And then I became the midday producer. And then I got to fill in for the midday DJ. And it was just so fun. It was so fun.
How long were you there?
So at Camel, I was probably there for about 7 years. I kept doing it till I had Carson. And then after 2 kids in like 16 months, I couldn't do it. So...
Not
stopped,
many,
but I miss it.
But that is such a unique job.
It's
Not
so
many
fun.
people can say, I was a radio show or radio DJ.
It was so fun. It was really fun.
Do you ever think about going back and doing something like that again when
Yes,
your kids are gone?
But again, I wouldn't even know. Like things have changed so much since I was on the air that I wouldn't have a demo tape because those were like the cassette tapes that we had. Like I think that's all I have. And all of the turnover at the different radio stations. Like I don't know anybody at any of the stations anymore. So I feel like it would be like hard.
Okay, I want to hear you in your element. Let's pretend, because you're right here with the microphone. Let's pretend you're going to just...
No, because I'll tell you what. I hate the sound of my own voice. I really do.
I remember you saying that.
Yes. No, I can't.
You hate the sound of your own... I actually do too. And so that's a big deal that I'm even doing this, because I don't love the sound of my voice. So you don't like the sound of your voice, but you were a DJ on the radio.
This is the same thing. When I was on the radio, it's just like my blog. Like I don't picture that I'm writing to lots of people. When I was speaking on the microphone at the station, I didn't think of all the listeners. Like I just felt like I was talking to myself. I'm good at that. So yeah, it wasn't until I would hear it back and I'd be like, oh, that sounds awful.
Have you ever considered starting your own little radio show to tie it to your blog?
Yeah, I would love to.
And bring on guests, bring on your followers?
I would love to. I don't know how.
Well, I do. I got the man right here.
Yes, I would have a blast. You would think I would love the sound of my own voice because I love to talk, but
that is very interesting. But that's something to consider.
I would love it.
You talk about doing something more with your blog. Take it the next step. And having a show.
Yeah. I think that would be fun. But the first thing
your followers.
Oh, I would love that.
Well, okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But what I think about that is I think of like, oh my gosh, that's too hard though. I'd have to like have a studio in my house. I don't know what kind of microphones to use. I don't know anything, Amy.
Well, that we can help you with.
Okay.
That we can help you with.
I will seek help.
Yes. I love that you were, I just can't wrap my arms around the fact that you were.
It was so fun. It was so fun to meet like the behind the scenes of like celebrities and concerts. And
did you ever get to meet any of the celebrities?
Yeah, lots of them.
Your favorite one? The nicest?
Probably. So down here it was a country station, so probably Tim and Faith.
Oh,
the nicest.
Tell me about your encounter with them.
I got to meet them at a meet and greet, and you can just tell from their persona what kind of people they are. They were very gracious and very kind and genuine. I remember Shania Twain was very stuck up, but she put on the best concert ever. So I guess, I don't know, she could afford to be stuck up, I guess. She was good, but she was not very personable. I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, I met LL Cool J back in the day. So nice. Yeah, it's just kind of fun to see that they're just normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that make millions of dollars.
Could you imagine getting up on stage and performing?
No.
Oh, to have that talent.
Yeah. I know.
Do you listen to country music? Is that your
don't
favorite?
Anymore. No.
So were you a country music fan, or
I
did you just
happen to?
Did you just kind of happen? This was the opportunity that presented itself.
Getting the job at Camel was my opportunity to move down here. So I was like, yeah, I'll do anything. Like, I don't care. And I did like country. I married somebody who doesn't like country, so he was always a good sport and went to all of like the concerts with me, even though I didn't like it. But I'm more of like a top 40 pop.
What was it? Casey's Top 40?
Yeah.
I remember we used to have these old CDs of Casey's Top 40 and Runaway Train. Remember that? Runaway Train.
Yes. And I do love me some 90s and early 2000s R&B.
What was the last concert you attended?
Oh, I haven't been to a concert in forever. I want to say it was John Mayer. And that was phenomenal. It was so good.
And was that here?
Yeah.
And was Joe, did he love that?
He loved that not because of John Mayer. Well, he ended up liking John Mayer after the concert, but before John Mayer came on, Ben Folds opened. Oh. He loves Ben Folds. So it was the best of both worlds for us. But acoustically, like the sound, it was amazing. John Mayer is a very talented person. Comes off kind of douchey, but he's very talented.
Good singer. Well, I feel like a lot of those singers and performers probably have to have quite a bit of ego just to be where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you not?
I know.
How would you not? Okay, talk to me about your husband. A little bit about Joe. Joe is a fantastic guy.
He is. He really is. We have a lot of fun together. He was born and raised in Mesa. I met him when I was done with college, and he was going to school for like the first, how long have we been married now? Almost 16 years. So I would say like for the first 12 or 13 years of our lives, he ran an eBay business from our home and did really well. And so we spent a lot of time with each other.
And he was one of the pioneers in the whole eBay.
He kind of was.
I feel like he was one of the big ones at the beginning. I remember him.
Yeah, he started in like 99 before I even met him.
Okay, tell us what he would do for eBay.
Okay, so when he started, he was going to school in Utah, and he worked for that company that owned Palm Pilot. I don't remember their name. So he could get the Palm Pilots for like half price or cheap.
Then he forgot about Palm Pilots.
He'd flip them and then sell them on eBay and make like double the profit. So he started with that. And then somehow he did like electronics, and then he got into like designer clothing and shoes and all of this stuff. And then the thing with eBay is you really have to have like a knack for something. And he had that knack, and it just kind of took off. He was good at it.
I always associate Last Chance with Joe.
He went there a lot. Yep.
And Campers.
I haven't been there in forever. Have you?
No, I think the last time I was there was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And before that, it'd probably been 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I haven't been in so long. But yeah, it's so funny because when we were first married, he was like the good shopper, like digging through like gross stuff to find good stuff. Now he wants nothing to do with that. And that's like my favorite thing now is to go and like find gems hidden.
Interesting how the roles have kind of swapped.
Yes, I know. So yeah, that's Joe. And now he doesn't work at home anymore. He works for a company, and he's just fun. He's just really laid back and fun, and we laugh a lot together.
Okay, what does dream retirement, what does that look like for you?
Dream retirement, I think, would be living in Arizona in the winter and having a home in southern Utah for the summer, because summers in Utah are the best ever, and winters in Arizona are the best. Mm-hmm. Being able to travel a lot, being able to visit my kids whenever I want. And just being able to travel the world. Did I tell you the story about us? Oh, did you know the story about us going to? No, you didn't, because you were off social media. This is a doozy. Do you want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Joe and I never really go, like, we take the kids to Disneyland all the time because we love Disneyland. We go to Southern Utah in the summer for summers, but other than that, we don't travel a ton, mainly because it's super expensive to take your kids to wonderful places. So Disneyland and Utah are about it. So he was working for a company and he won, through the sales part, a trip to Italy for both of us.
Wow.
Okay, so we get like all packed, like we get ready to go. We're like, oh my gosh, we're going to Italy. Like the kids are taken care of. Our parents are going to watch them. It was like this dream vacation. We didn't have to pay for anything. It was
All
paid
expenses
for. All
paid.
expenses
How
paid.
long was the trip?
A week. We've always wanted to go to Italy. So we're like, oh my gosh, this is like huge. So we get all packed up. We drop the kids off. We get to the airport at like 5 a.m. to fly into, I don't know, Florence or wherever it was. And the guy says to us, oh, this is not how I want to start my day. And we were like, what? Why? And he was like, you guys can't go. And we thought we were like being punked. We were like, what? And he's like, well, you can go, ma'am, but he can't go. And I was like, why? So Joe's passport expired within like, I don't know what, it's like 3 months, I guess. And you can't leave the country if it expires within that time, like by like 2 days.
Oh.
We started crying. We were so sad. We were like, no, this can't be. Like, you have to let us go. He's like, I can't let you go. And I wasn't going to go without Joe. This was his trip to begin with. So this was on a Saturday. Well, Monday was a holiday. I think it was Columbus Day or something. So all of the like passport places were closed. And so we couldn't, like, because there's places you can get like overnight passports, blah, blah, blah. No, it was all closed because then there was a holiday on Monday. By the time we would have gotten to Italy, it would be Tuesday. Oh, it was horrible. It was the worst experience ever. And so, yeah, we haven't been to Italy.
Oh, Marci, that is awful.
It was so sad.
So what?
I know.
Tell me what the rest of that day looked like.
It was horrible.
This is like bright and early. You're so
bright
and
early.
Probably packed to the nines.
Everything ready.
So
I'll tell you what it looks like.
Tell me what it looked like.
So my parents were out of town. Joe's parents had the kids. I called my friend Judy. I love Judy. She's in her 70s. She had taken us to the airport. So I called her. I was like, Judy, you have to come back and get us.
Oh, Marci.
Like, what? She felt so bad for us. She took us to Village Inn for breakfast. And we were like, it was like the quietest breakfast ever because we were so sad. We went home. We took a nap. And we went to Oregano's because that was like the next best thing to Italian food, right?
I was going to ask if you went to Olive Garden.
We took it a step up, went to Oregano's, and then we picked up our kids. Isn't that horrible?
Marci, that like seriously makes me want to cry.
Yeah,
I like to issue my guests a challenge, but I want to issue my followers a challenge, my listeners. We are getting Joe and Marci to Italy. Period.
Yes, I know.
We are getting you to Italy.
I know.
That is the most heartbreaking story.
It was a that whole year was just not a fun year.
So was this in 2018 then? Or was this in...
Let's see. No, 2017.
Oh, Marci.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of how our life rolls.
But you know what? Look at you. You can sit here with a big smile on your face and laugh it off.
We did. After the day went on, we kind of were able to like start joking about it. But we'll always remember that. We'll always remember it.
Oh, you had that opportunity at your fingertips. You will get there.
But you know what? As soon as that guy, the weird thing about this trip was as much as I wanted to go, as soon as that guy, and he was so crusty too, he was not very nice. As soon as he was like, you guys can't go, and explained to us, I was like, okay, I don't think we're supposed to go on this particular trip. Like, I was so sad, but I kind of felt okay because I felt like this isn't right. Like, we're not supposed to go right now. I don't know why. I have no idea why, because it was like the dream trip. But
so yeah, maybe some things are just meant to be. Because right before you mentioned that, I was going to ask you, do you ever regret not going?
I don't regret not going then, but I'm dying to go.
No, I know. But yeah, I was just wondering if I would ever feel like, man, I should have just gone myself.
Yeah, I did think of that. Yes, I did. But
how could you? You know?
I know it would have been as fun.
No, and I couldn't have done that to my husband.
No way.
I would have not gone either.
No, I know.
Oh, that is so sad,
yeah,
Marci.
It is.
But you know what? The kind of person you are now, you're sitting here, you're laughing about it.
You have to. If you don't laugh at stuff, then like,
Right.
what's the point? You'll be miserable.
Absolutely. And life does not always turn out the way you want it.
Oh, no, it does not.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Gosh, in the next 5 years, my oldest will be graduated from high school. And I don't know. I mean, still kind of doing what I'm doing. And I don't know. I'd love
Just
to
living
design a
life.
home one day and do that down the road. And just, yeah. I don't like big change. I'm not a person of change. So I don't know.
You just like to live life to the fullest.
just
Live in the moment.
Like to be comfortable and know that things are going to be okay.
I love it.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of beauty in simplicity.
I think so.
And this year, our family motto is simplicity. We are having a simple year, and there's nothing wrong with that for us.
No, not at all.
We
I
a
love
simple
that.
life.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, Marci. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you
on.
for having me. This was so fun.
Oh, so much fun. We'll have you back.
Okay, I would love that.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Jeff, we're done.